Hello, my beloved tribe. This is Emily Potter. I'm the director of the Lightworker Musicians Tribe and the Million Kisses Foundation. And I have something that we talk about a lot in our group in different levels and different stages. Are you not living your musical dream because you are afraid that you will fail? The reason why I am doing these videos, and especially this topic, is because I sat in my fear of failure for years. I was so afraid of failing, and so I really feel like this is an important one to address. So I'm going to get into the core of what I feel is really going on. I don't believe that you're afraid of failing. I'm going to explain why in a minute. I feel like what is happening is the fear of failure. Failure itself, all by itself, is really just a part of the growth and regrowth and the birth and the rebirth. We call it failure, and we've put this really, really strong energy around it as if it's a bad thing. And really, it's just it's what life is. It's like a spring flower. We love that feeling of the spring flower and how beautiful it is, and we love to enjoy the essence of that flower. And we know that naturally it's going to deteriorate and go back into the ground and become part of the earth when the fall and this winter comes. It's part of it, and then there's that rebirth again. Failure itself, it's a funny word. It's actually hilarious. I've created a whole new relationship with the word failure, and I actually, in my circle of friends, we talk about it as a success, that we are not giving it the same power as perhaps the general norm does. I do not believe that failure is what's holding you back. I believe that it's the fear of failure, and you can't really win in that place of just sticking and staying in the fear of failure, because the what ifs can drown you of all of the things that you can possibly have happen. It's the fear of failure that is stopping you from living your musical dream. The thing about this, the reason why this is an essential part to talk about, especially with how powerful you are as spiritual leaders and with music medicine within you that has so much potential in healing the world, the reason why I really want to emphasize this is because what is happening is that the fear of failure is staying within you and decaying your soul and deteriorating you from the inside out. The fear of failure is doing that. It's not failure itself. And I'm going to go in a little deeper here. The significance of you overcoming the fear of failure is that you are, if you've ever studied literature, you are the hero in your hero's journey. There's the hero's journey where we get to have the whole experience of the adventure. So the solution to overcoming your fear of failure is this. You get to see yourself as the hero of your life, and then you get to decide, do you want to live an intentional adventure, an intentional life? Do you want to have the focus of your life actually go towards the experience of successes and failures? Or do you want to live a default adventure, the default life, the one where you are going to just sit in the fear of failure and allow yourself to decay within? Here's why this is important. Because in either scenario, whether you're intentionally living your fears and failures and your successes, or you're doing it the default, either scenario, you are encountering failures and successes, either way. So if you're sitting in your default life option, the thing about that is that you're not living your musical dream. It's the default of just, I'm not focused, I'm not intentional, I'm too scared to make any choices that way. And so you have life happening still. Your life is most likely very, very brilliant. We have beautiful, beautiful experiences in the default option of life. You probably get to meet people and go to parties and play your instrument around a campfire, and you get to do all these things, and it's really a rich, rich life. And yet, even in that life, you are experiencing failures where you are failing to communicate in a really meaningful relationship, and you have a failed relationship in that default life where you are, nothing's wrong with that, except for one thing wrong with that, is that you are not living your full musical dream. And that's my only point here, tribe, because there's no one going to tell you that you're not living a meaningful, successful life. You are. And yet there's a part of you that is unfulfilled because you are not living your musical dream. And I always like to go to the big global dream, because a lot of you have different variables of your dream musically, but a lot of you have the same dream, that you want to be a full-time musician, world traveling, and be globally known, not for your ego, but for you to make a humongous ripple on the planet, because you know you have music medicine within you to offer healing to humanity and to the earth. That's a really big dream, and it does take a lot of intentional failing and intentional successes. So if you're sitting in your default life, you are failing. You're actually failing right now. You're failing because you're not taking risks. That's a failure. And yet you're having a meaningful life, and so there's not anything to be afraid of with the failure. Now, I'm not gonna try to convince you of that, because you still get to have your full experience with the word failure. But I want to just point out and illuminate that you're already experiencing a level of failure. I know that sounds so like morbid, except that yet you're having a fulfilling, lovely life in a lot of ways. And so it's not anything to be afraid of. So being able to overcome the fear of failure in order to live an intentional life, it takes commitment and focus to go forward. And I'm going to tell you from my own experience that my success so far is that I've been able to be a full-time musician for over 4 years and travel worldwide to 14 different countries thus far, and offering my music medicine to vibrationally matched connective audiences. And yet on that path, I've been able to experience so many failures. My relationship with failures is different, where I have experienced, even way beyond the 4 years, the experience of being absolutely in that starving artist syndrome, where I thought I had to be hungry. I was hungry for a long time because I had to go into that space of knowing I was worthy to receive and to lean into our global family in that way. And I have experienced full-on poverty. Oh my gosh. So now I had to overcome my poverty mindset, my scarcity consciousness. This is why I'm able to do these live videos in speaking with compassion to you. I know what this feels like. I've had full-on fears where I had major panic attacks and hyperventilation. And that's why I can talk about that the failures don't stop right there. My life didn't end because I was hungry. So I'm going to go into a little deeper meaning here. I don't believe that you're afraid of failing. I believe you're afraid of being uncomfortable. I believe that your full-time job gives you a payoff, that you know that a paycheck is coming and you like that comfort. That comfort feels good, and I know because I did that before I quit my job. I believe that there's a part of you that doesn't want to be uncomfortable to see what hunger feels like. I don't feel like you have to, especially because I work with my clients so that you know some things and some strategies so that I can be the only one within our midst here who's experienced that, and I can give you my offerings and my wisdom for what I've experienced so that you don't have to. But you're afraid of being uncomfortable. That's what failing is, and that's, or perhaps that's the equation that you're making, is that I'm afraid of being homeless and hungry and out there and not being able to pay my bills, all of those fears of failures. You're not afraid of failing because you're failing right now in some areas of your life. You're afraid of being uncomfortable. You're afraid of what the failure can look like that would make you uncomfortable and would have to make you have to get really vulnerable with the world and lean in to your power and to see how powerful you are and to see how magnificent you are. You would have to do that work, and that is uncomfortable work. You'd have to live and claim your joy so that you cannot be a victim any longer of your life. You'd have to claim being a creator. your life in every way. And you'd have to be uncomfortable. You'd have to lean in to the uncomfortability of what the adventure is taking you on. And I'm going to share with you that if you're ready to be bored with that as the reason why you're not living your musical dream, if you're ready to actually get uncomfortable enough so that you can be the one that tells me, I'm now going to 20,000 countries, I'm going to countries everywhere, and I'm being a full-time musician, I'm ready to be uncomfortable to claim that and to be able to live into that level of the hero's journey with my failures and successes. I'm interested in that level of failing and succeeding. I'm interested in that more than I'm interested in the default plan, which is giving me a lot of beautiful purpose and love, but I'm not living my musical dream. I'm interested in failing and succeeding on my hero's journey to claim why I came to the earth. If you're ready to do that and you would like assistance and accountability to actually own and claim that and be uncomfortable enough to claim your greatness, then reach out to me, private message me. I will get you those results and it's going to feel amazing. I'm going to give you the same results that I gave myself and my clients. So I look forward to connecting with those who are really ready to get uncomfortable and to go on an adventure on purpose with intention. It's so fun and it's so ridiculously hard too. And yet you're already living in such a significant amount of what hard is by not living your musical dream. You are I'm going to talk to those especially who are in a job that does not fulfill you. I'm going to talk to you. If you are already in that space of feeling unfulfilled in any way, then you're already doing what is hard. So it's not anything you can escape. So you might as well go intentionally towards the focus and the dream and have that be the liberating experience of your hero's journey. I look forward to those who are ready to do that. Reach out to me, private message me, and I will talk to you then.